So I'm pretty well known against my hatred against Indian motorcycles, which is completely not true, but my hatred against Indian motorcycle owners is partially true. I'm just kidding, I love everybody. This video is sponsored by Rockform, one of the best motorcycle foam mounts ever, and this is the 2019 Indian Motorcycles FTR1200S. But here, Indian made the most beautiful motorcycle. It's designed like their 750 flat track racer. It's like an homage to their re-entry into flat track racing to respur the rivalry with Harley Davidson. But unlike most production motorcycles that are made after the race bike, this one actually has more horsepower than the race bike does. This 1200cc V-twin pushes out 123 horsepower. That's 600 superbike level of horsepower. But you're gonna assume, oh, well, you know, it's an it's an American motorcycle, so it's gonna be super heavy, 700, 800 pounds, so it's not gonna feel fast. It's weighing in at only 500 pounds, which is only 70 pounds more than a 600 Super Sport. So you riding this has a better power to ratio than your buddy riding a GSXR 600 with this girlfriend on the back. Now, Harley Davidson once tried to do something like this, and they tried to do a bike like their flat track bike, and they made the Sportster 1200 XR. But to be honest with you, they kind of cheaped out. They took a regular Sportster and they put a different tank and different exhaust. They just kind of modified it. When Indian did this is a completely different motorcycle. It's not a Scout. There's nothing about this that says Scout. It's not even the same frame. Where the Scout has a cast frame, this has a fully tubular frame. Something a little more similar as to what you would see like on a Ducati Monster. Not only is this thing made to accelerate very fast, it's also made to brake very fast with 4-piston caliber Brembo brakes. It also has all the cool teched out things you could ever want on a motorcycle like this, with an awesome infotainment center that you can control pretty much everything with. It's got 3 different riding modes: rain, standard, and sport. It also has lean angle sensitive ABS and traction wheelie mitigation mode, which I had to look up, and that means that in rain or standard mode, it stops big or extended wheelies, and then on sport mode or anything else, it's completely off. It also has full-blown track mode that you can turn on, which eliminates traction control and ABS. You can connect it to your phone. You can also do onboard diagnostics with the vehicle. It also has a feature that honestly every motorcycle should have this. It's got cruise control. Now, if you're wondering what's going on right here, this is not part of the bike, but it looks like it's part of the bike. This is part of my Rockform phone mount. Rockform is one of the best motorcycle phone mounts ever. You also buy the case. The phone just clips right in there, locks in, and you can access all your stuff right there while you're riding. Check out rockform.com and use promo code Srkcycles25 for 25% off your next order. Now, you could look at this bike and put this in the same category as the Scout or the Sportster or a Vulcan 900 or something like that. But to be honest with you, you'd be completely wrong. This is something completely different, and as of right now, as far as I know, there's no other American company making a motorcycle that fits this same category. And Srkcycles is going to be giving this motorcycle away. So I want you guys to subscribe and keep an eye out on the channel. We're going to be making announcements about it very, very soon. Don't forget to watch the stories on YouTube. I might mention it about there. Let's go take this thing for a spin. Did I mention it's throttle by wire? All right, guys, before we start, let's do the words of wisdom. Isaiah 40:29, he gives strength to the weary, and to him who lacks might, he increases power. Amen. Let me grab my gloves. Of course, my M1 Moto gloves that you can go find on bikesandbeardsgear.com. And I cannot wait. I'm so pumped. I cannot wait to take this thing for a spin. Ha ha! Man, this is awesome. This thing is, all right, initially, I just left. This thing's pulling like a sport bike. I love the way this bike feels. This is so cool. I can't wait to really let this thing loose. This thing, okay, all right. This thing feels like an FC07 or something like that. It's so torquey. I have never been on any Harley Davidson or a single Indian or American-made motorcycle that in first gear, I give it like half throttle and the front end just comes up. That is amazing. I'm loving this bike. It's a very comfortable riding position, like an extremely comfortable riding position. I love the dirt bike handlebars, and this is all stock. This is 100% stock the way the bike came. I think it's just a beautiful. Right here you got your gear indicator. Man, this is a fun bike. I could see this being a blast taking on like the dirt track. If I was a little bit, we're talking like flat track, if I was a little bit better at that, I would consider doing it, but I'd probably drop the bike, and it's just too nice. Traction control keeps on cutting back in and out. This thing is awesome. Indian knocked this bike out of the park. I mean, they successfully made a motorcycle that feels like an FTR1200 or MT-09 or, you know, like that, right? But here's my problem with those bikes. The MT-09 looks better. I love the FTR1200. I love it. Like when I have one, when the one comes in the shop, I keep it for a while for myself so I can ride it, because I just love riding those bikes. The problem is it's not that good looking of a bike. The FTR7 is kind of an ugly motorcycle. And then you got the what is that? The more cafe version of it, which is a lot cooler looking, but it's not even close to as cool looking as this bike. This bike could, let's just say this bike rode like a normal, you know, like a Scout. This is nothing like the Scout. This is no modified Scout. It's a completely different bike. Let's say this thing rode just like the Scout. It'd still be an amazing bike because it's just so cool looking, and the Scouts are a blast to drive. This is completely different. 1000% different. I gotta learn how to turn the traction control off. It's got cruise control. Okay, there's different modes. How do I change these modes? I mean, the front end, if traction control's on, I gotta figure out how to take it off. On the front end at 60 miles an hour, the front end's getting light. This thing wants to pull up. I'm loving this bike. All right, so I'm gonna pull over. I'm gonna finish out to take traction control off. Well, you know what, let me do it. Let me go bust out this 0 to 60. It handles awesome. What blows my mind is how cheap these bikes are. These bikes are inexpensive for what you're getting, an American-made machine. This motorcycle is a game changer. I hope I'm doing a good job at like expressing that. The reason the pegs are back up, the reason your knees are in front of your feet is because this bike's made to perform. There. And once you get to 60, it just keeps on pulling until you get to the speed limit of 65, which I just did right now. Now, unlike the FTR7, which, let me clarify, I love that motorcycle, even with its flaws and the fact that it's kind of ugly looking. I still love it. This bike feels stable on the highway going at higher speeds. Now, the highway speeds, it's fine, but when if you're trying to go like 90 plus on an FTR7, the way the wheelbase is and the way it's set up, it just does not feel very stable. This feels awesome. I love how incredibly bright these gauges are. It's daylight. It's not the brightest time of the day, but it's almost the brightest time of the day. And I can see that as clear as day. A lot of times with these digital gauges, you know what I mean, they weren't super bright. That thing is super incredibly bright. Loving it. Look at that. Look at the sprinklers. That's pretty cool looking. And if you want to pass somebody, you don't even need to drop a gear. I didn't think I was gonna fall in love. I mean, I fall in love with bikes a lot. I didn't think I was gonna fall in love with this one as much as I knew I was gonna like it, just because, I mean, worst case scenario, it runs like a Scout, a 1200, which is, they're great bikes, and it looks as good as it does. And right there, it's an awesome bike. It's different. It's so much different. I'm loving this. All right, let me go pull over. Let me go change, get this thing out of sport mode and try to put this thing in wheelie mode. Oh, it's got music? track mode. All those things off. Disable. I'm not sure what it's taking. What is it loading? What are you loading, bike? You're not on the internet. Give me the dangerous mode. It's loading. Hold on, guys. Now, of course, this would have to have a mode that could disable everything, traction control and stability control. Because if someone was going to buy this bike, and this makes you awesome, if you were going to buy this bike and actually flat track it, you got to be able to take those things off. Flat tracking is all about the slide. You got to love that slide. I need one of these bikes. I need one. This is amazing. And the weird thing about it is, I don't have any great evidence for this, except for I see a lot of 2019s that are still for sale at dealerships. I don't know if this bike sold very well for Indian. This should be their best-selling motorcycle. Back tire just spun. Alright. Let's go back to gauges. Let's try one more 0 to 60. There. I still could have done better. Yeah, this thing's, there's still a little more in there. Love this bike. As of right now, as of this moment, right in time, Harley does not have a single motorcycle that competes in this category. And I think that's a problem. I think Harley needs to change it. Now, they have a bike coming out, I think in a year, that should be this exact category. We'll see how it comes out. But as of right now, Harley has nothing. And this is the most exciting type of motorcycle, for me anyway. I'm loving this. This is so great. Just spun. Oh man, this is awesome. All this thing wants to do is spin. No. I love this motorcycle. I need one of these. I need one of these, not this one. I got big plans for this one, guys. You're gonna want to subscribe and figure out what I got going on. Actually, I'm gonna give it away. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm giving this bike away to one of you guys. We're gonna announce it in a couple days. You're gonna want to hear this. I love that. I need one of these. I need one of these in my life right now. Oh man, this is amazing. I'm still getting used to that power band, but this thing pops up wheelies very easily. Guys, that wraps it up. I'm Sean from Srkcycles. This is an amazing motorcycle. I'm loving, I love a lot of bikes. I really do. This takes it to a new level because this is 100% surprising to me. This bike is amazing. Check out Srkcycles.com. We have a lot of bikes for sale. Remember, it's not what you're riding, but where are you going? We'll see you guys later.